Hey guys, John here. Welcome back for week 3 of my Inktober challenge. Right now I'm going to flip through all the pages of where I've been so far, and then we can get right into day number 12, which is shredded. So when I think of shredded, there's two possibilities that I come up with. I either think of a cow that's absolutely jacked, or I think of a cow skateboarder. And I think a skateboarding cow would make for a much more interesting picture. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I made the bottom of his skateboard say moo, naturally. And then I just found some random reference online of a skateboarder doing it said a dragon flip, but from this photo, there's no way to be able to tell that that's what he's doing. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm going to finish this up here, add a little bit of white, and we'll jump right into the next one. So day 13 is drink. I thought it would be fun if I did, like, when I think of drink, I'm imagining a martini, and then I think to myself, who holds a martini? And I see in my head one of those ladies at, like, the Kentucky Derby or other races with the crazy big hats and a martini and those little binoculars on a stick. And I think it would be funny to make a cow into one of those ladies, and so that's what I decided to do. Gave her some lipstick and some long eyelashes and a fancy hat. Kind of had fun with this one. Of course, her martini has 2 olives in it, the only way to drink a martini. So the next day, day 14, is trunk. And so I thought it would be a good day to make something a little more realistic, a little cuter. And so initially, there's a picture of a boy at the Iowa State Fair sleeping with his cow. He's like resting up against her and she's resting her head on him. I thought that'd be fun to draw. However, I did not get off to a good start. And so you see that I drew that in here and I didn't really like it. So I tried to erase it away, which doesn't work very well with colored pencils. And so I kind of just drew over top of it with a pen later. And you can't even really tell that I put this in here to begin with. And so the thing I replaced it with was, I think it's so funny watching a cow sleep when it lays on its side. Like, it just looks like it's dead in the grass. I'm sure it's really comfortable, and I'm sure that's the best sleep of this cow's life, but the photo just looks so funny. And so that's what I did. Could I have been a little more creative with the trunk prompt? Sure, maybe. But since it is trunk, I decided I'd put sleeping at the base of a tree. And I still think it came out well. And I think if you know the prompt is trunk, it makes sense. Day 15, ragged. I think of 2 things again. I either think of a hobo or a zombie, and I figured it would be a little more fun to make like a zombie cow. So I found a picture of a cow with this kind of mouth hanging open, and we're going to work through and change that into what we're looking for. And so I ended up pulling up a picture of Cow's skull, and I did kind of, some of the flesh was torn away on one of his eyeballs, and you can see his skull underneath it there. And then I made him drool like crazy. Could I have done more to turn it into a zombie? Probably, but this is not so much a challenge to make the most amazing art every single day. It's to just consistently be making art every day. And so I didn't want to overbear myself with work that I had to do on this thing. But I think it turned out really nicely, so I don't think that I'm missing much by not doing more. This one has very heavy shading, so I made sure to give it some nice dark shadows. So day 16 is Blunder. And I knew right when I read this what I wanted it to be, and so I kind of just cracked right away with it. When I think of Blunder, I think of chess, and when I think of chess, I think of people, like in New York playing chess in the park. And so I decided to make 2 cows playing a game of chess in the park. Are they the most anatomically accurate cows? Probably not, but that's fine, This is all fun. It's an exercise of persistence, not so much, like I said, for the last day, making the most incredible thing you've ever made every single day. I mean, hell, I had a cow sitting on a tractor and a mermaid cow earlier, so it's not like I'm making incredible masterwork portraits here. So the next one is Ornate, and I really enjoy the way that like the sacred cattle look when they have them all dressed up and their head ornamentation and pieces on. And so I found a cool picture of one of those with a bunch of ornamentation on it, like all these little beads and a headpiece and fanciness. So I thought that would be fun. A lot of my drawings this month have not really filled the page completely, so I thought it would be fun to, since this one is focused on little details, to fill this page mostly with the cow so that I could get as much little details in there as possible. Since I'm just working in black, it was important for me to kind of pick the areas that I had to do detail on, because it's very easy to add too many details and then it gets kind of muddy and just too dark and you can't really tell what's going on. And so it was important to me to leave some spaces of white so that the darker spaces in the detail areas actually looked like details and not just fill. And day 18, last day for this week, is Deal. And I knew right away that when I saw Deal that I wanted to make a used car salesman as a cow. It sounded funny, and I thought it would be funny, and it turned out great, and I'm very happy with it. And so I've got a used car salesman here in a suit that does not fit him properly, smoking a cigar, patting the hood of this old beater car. I thought it looked great. It was a great idea. I'm glad I came up with it because this was so much fun to draw. I think it's fitting that it's a bull because, you know, these used car salesmen, they're always spewing a bunch of bullshit. But that'll do it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more. Ring the bell so you're notified whenever I post something. Leave a comment, share this with your friends. Let me know what your favorite day is so far. And I will see you guys in the next one.